everyone, it's Miss Rika and I am doing another video. This time we are working on assignment 3, solving systems of equations by substitution, and we are going to be doing problems 1 and 2 from the assignment. So solving systems of equations by substitution is actually my favorite math concept in 8th grade. So if you guys are ever wondering what is my favorite math concept, it's this one. So when I mean substitution, it means I can use the amounts of my variables to solve for another variable. So I can use one variable to solve for another variable. So let me show you. So I'm given two equations, y equals 2x plus 2 and y equals 0. I can solve for x and y by using both equations. In the first equation, I know y is equal to 2x plus 2. And in the second equation, y equals 0. So if y equals 2x plus 2 and y also equals 0, then I can set 2x plus 2 equal to 0. Because given my equation, I'm given that y equals 2x plus 2. It equals 2x plus 2. But y also equals 0. So I can set 2x plus 2 equal to 0. I can plug 2x plus 2 in for y down here. And so I get 2x plus 2 equals 0. And now it's just a one variable. Now I just need to solve for one variable. Super easy. What's the opposite of adding 2? I subtract 2. And if I subtract 2 from one side, I have to subtract 2 from another. 2 minus 2 cancels, and I get 2x equals 0 minus 2, which is negative 2. Opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. Divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. I get x equals negative 2 divided by 2. Same signs positive, different signs negative. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So now I've solved for one of my variables. X equals negative 1. And I can plug in negative 1 for x and then solve for y. And so 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 2 equals 0. Y equals 0. And we know that down here. So x equals negative 1 and y equals 0. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm going to turn this over and we're going to work on number 2. So this is, again, we're using substitution to solve this system. I'm given y equals x minus 6. And I'm given y equals 8x plus 1. These are two equations. In the first equation, x minus 6 equals y. In the second equation, 8x plus 1 equals y. What do we notice about both equations? They both are equal to y. They are both equal to 1y. Well, if x minus 6 equals 1y and 8x plus 1 also equals 1y, then I can plug in x minus 6 for y. Because I already said x minus 6 equals y. So I can plug in this x minus 6 down in for this y. So I'm going to plug in x minus 6 for y. X minus 6 equals 8x plus 1. And now I just have one variable. I want to get variables on one side, and I want to get whole numbers on the other. So I'm going to add 6, because the opposite of subtracting 6 is adding 6. I add 6 to this side as well to keep it balanced. And I get x equals 8x plus 7. And I want to get just x is on one side and whole numbers on the other. So I'm going to subtract 8x, and I'm going to subtract 8x. 8x minus 8x is 0, so I get 7 equals x minus 8x, which is negative 7x. The opposite of multiplying by negative 7 is dividing by negative 7. If I divide one side by negative 7, I have to do it to the other. Negative 7 divided by negative 7 is 1. And I get x equals 7 divided by negative 7. Different signs, same signs positive, different signs negative. 7 divided by negative 7 is negative 1. So I got x equal to negative 1. So now I know what x is, and I can just plug in this value for x and solve for y. Y equals plugging negative 1 in for x, negative 1 minus 6. Subtracting a positive number is the same thing as adding a negative number, so I get y equal to negative 7. So in this case, to make both equations true, this coordinate, when x equals -1 and y equals -7, both equations are the same. So in this case, this point, -1, -7, is where these two linear equations would intersect. So this is just a different way to solve for that intersection point. So when we're graphing, we actually graph it and look for that intersection point where the two lines cross. When we're substituting, we just substitute one variable in for another, and we find that point. But this point is where the two equations intersect. And I get that this is confusing, so I do want you to watch the other videos that I posted. Please watch the other videos that I posted. I think it would be very helpful. Okay, I'm going to post more starting tomorrow, but I want you to watch these videos as well as the ones I posted. See you later.